review and receive and approve the agenda of March 7th. Any questions concerning changes concerning the agenda? Hearing none, I would accept a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the item is approved. Our second item will be items for consideration. Mr. Lasani?
Yes. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and committee members. We have one item for you to consider today, and we are requesting allocation of $400,000 from the 2000 General Obligation Bond Authorization for position number 1, Streets Listed Control account to be declared surplus and be allocated to an unlisted project, which will be a resurfacing project in cooperation with the county commissioners of Cleveland County. The project is Southwest 149th Street from Santa Fe Avenue to Pennsylvania Avenue, and it is located in Ward number 5. The project basically in two portions. One portion has a very poor pavement structure, and that's basically from Western Avenue, about 660 feet east of Western Avenue to Santa Fe, and that will be completely reconstructed. The other portion from Western to Santa Fe, I'm sorry, I gave the portions wrong. From Pennsylvania to Santa Fe will be undergoing a repair because the pavement structure is not as bad. So it's going to be milled and overlaid, and some base repair will be done to that. And this will be through an agreement with the Cleveland County. And the plan is to finish this, if everything works out, by June 30th, 2011. And there are provisions in the agreement that if the timing or price changes, then both parties have to agree to any change. With that, if there's any questions.
Any questions concerning this item?
In terms of if it doesn't get done by June 30, if the price decreases, that's great. But it says if it increases, that we've taken on the responsibility to pay that increase.
Yes, that's the possibility, but our previous work with Cleveland County has shown that, this amount should be sufficient because the city provides the funding and the Cleveland County does the labor and material for the project.
I understand that basically. My only concern was just that we appear to be making a blind commitment that if the price doubles because they didn't finish by June 30th, that's our problem. And that may happen often, and you may have easy ways to handle that, but I just need to
I could understand your concern because the oil prices, going up, and that may have some effect. Right. But, if it increases, then, we may have to decide if additional funding is required. And
do we know where that additional funding will come from?
That I wouldn't know at this point, but we may have to use interest fund again, possibly.
Yeah, and I don't think it's your concern is well taken. I don't think it's very likely that will happen. if it does happen and we would need additional funds, we would have to come back through the Bond Oversight Committee and then to this committee to get additional funding, and that would either need to come from surplus monies or from bond interest or some other source.
You anticipate having surplus monies that it could come from?
If there was an increase here, yes, we could. We do have some funds that we could access.
Okay. Thank you.
I have a question for our attorney. Does this contract fall under the same kinds of guidelines with under state law about where prices, not prices, but the cost of an item goes beyond 10% beyond a bid amount?
As far as a change order,
Yes.
I believe that the county would fall under the Public Construction Act, so they would have to bid it, and they would be subject to the 10% retainage if the contract was over $1 million. I have not seen the actual contract. Do we have a contract ready to go that we've agreed upon?
We have an agreement. The agreement has not been approved yet. The agreement, just like this item, would need to go to the City Council, and the agreement is not ready to go forward yet. We're working with Cleveland County to get that agreement done.
Yeah, from a legal standpoint, whenever they get the agreement done, we could not obligate ourselves to more than the amount of money that we actually set back and encumber. So I would anticipate that the contract probably would say not to exceed $400,000. So that is all that we would have to expend.
Correct.
And then if the costs increase, it would be our decision or the City Council's decision to decide if they wanted to pay for that increased cost. But any contract we would do, we couldn't obligate ourselves over a set amount of money unless we had those monies on hand.
Hopefully that will help with his concern about what happens should we go beyond our estimated amount.
Just for the committee's information, some of the best deals that we do on resurfacing projects are joint agreements with counties, whether it's Oklahoma County or Cleveland County or Canadian County. We always get a very good deal for the citizens' dollar on these types of joint projects.
Is this section line road where
Yes.
where we share ownership or share maintenance costs ordinarily?
No, it's a section line road, but it's in the city limits of Oklahoma City, so we're responsible for the maintenance of it. We do work agreements like this, though, with the counties from time to time, where they're willing to go ahead and, as Mr. Lozani said, they will perform the labor. They'll bring all the equipment, and all we're doing is buying the materials. And they do this even though it's our section line road to maintain.
Are you saying that this is the county's largesse, that this is being done on a cooperative basis?
Yes.
So they wouldn't have to. They're
No.
just doing it because they want to.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, sir.
May I ask a question? This is just resurfacing the road, is that correct? It's not widening
Yes,
it?
that's correct. That's, to do some pavement preservation, so you would bring, get more life out of pavement until, the monies are available to totally reconstruct and widen the road.
Even when it came to an intersection, would there be the possibility of widening it just at the intersection, similar to what was done at 134th in Portland?
Are you speaking specifically about Western?
Yes.
Okay, we have a listed bond project on Western Avenue from 134th down to 179th that we'll be starting construction on either late this year or early next year that will improve that intersection. It'll provide 5 lanes in all directions there.
Okay. So it covers both 149th and Western?
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions concerning this item? Any other questions that the staff could answer? Any other matter? Hearing none, I would accept a motion. Have a motion? Have a motion and a section and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the item is approved.
Thank you.
Fortunately or unfortunately, that is the only item that we have today concerning official business, although we have an informational item from the staff.
Yes, and I'll go ahead and read this. Municipal Government Week was March 21st through the 25th, and on behalf of the city, in order to recognize the members of the Bond Advisory Committee and to express appreciation for their service, I will present each of you with a special pin designating each member as an appointed official. So I will do that now.
Does this entitle me to a parking space?
I don't think so.
Yeah. I tried. Yes. Since our meetings are so short and we don't get a whole hour, is the time that's left over accumulative? No answer to that? Come on, staff, give us something. All right, hearing none, is there any new business to come before this body? Any items from committee members? Citizens to be heard? Hearing none, we are adjourned. Thanks. Yes, sir.